One go? Huh? One? Hi! How you doing, folks?
You're yelling into the mic now. You're doing a Jeff. Don't do a Jeff.
Howdy, folks. Oh, sorry.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back. It's Bowden Maddox with my daughter, Michelle.
Yes.
We're doing some more reactions to RWBY. This is a special episode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show her midway through Volume 2. I'm going to show her the world of Remnants for Volume 2. They don't really spoil anything, and they give a lot of background information, Michelle. These are just very short, little 2D animation. There's like line drawings and stuff that kind of describes different things. We're going to talk different things.
Different things.
There are 4 of them. There's one on dust, what dust is. Mm-hmm. There's one on the kingdoms of the world, because you may have heard of mention of a couple of kingdoms. Mm-hmm. Then the Grimm, the monsters, and then there's another one on Aura. Remember, Pyrrha gave a talk to John about what Aura was. This one will just add a little bit more information. So, ready to go?
Yep.
All right. Hopefully, you'll learn a bit more about it and help you understand and appreciate the show a little bit more. That's what they were for.
Okay. RWBY, Star Wars.
Dust. By definition, it is a naturally occurring energy propellant that can be triggered by the aura of humans and faunas. But in reality, it is much, much more. Found in 4 basic forms, dust can be combined, both artificially and naturally, to form new, stronger types, each with unique properties. Since its discovery, man has concocted a multitude of ways in which to harness the powers of these mysterious crystals. From airships to androids, dust has made its way into practically every facet of technology. Some prefer to use dust in its raw form, elegant yet destructive. Those who choose to wield dust in this state must possess a certain level of discipline to ensure that their resulting powers do not break free from their control. Dust ammunition serves as a more practical application in today's modern society. With the technological advancements in weapon design, warriors need simply choose the right cartridge for the job and pull the trigger. While this has become the standard method of use, it is not uncommon to find individuals still practicing more archaic forms of dust manipulation, such as weaving it into clothing, or even fusing it directly with their own bodies.
All right.
Despite working, fighting, and even turning a profit with it,
Snowflake.
humanity has still yet to understand how dust came to be. And more importantly, how their involvement with dust will ultimately change the world of Remnant.
Okay. Dust. Any thoughts about dust? That icon I was trying to show you, that was this Schnee Dust Company
Snow Queen
symbol. She was talking about people making profits from dust.
It's like currency.
It can be like currency, yeah. Yes. It's like a natural resource activated by aura. The different types, fire, and so forth. Did you see the one guy with the gun who she said that's a standard use, but some people use more arcane methods, and he pointed it to the ground and shot it, and he was shot upward? Who do we know who does that?
I don't remember.
In the big battle in the forest, as they were leaving the forest, you saw RWBY doing that. Yang will sometimes do that. Because she was doing her landing strategy. She was shooting her guns to propel her. Right? So.
Okay.
All right, well, we've got another one, and that one is called Kingdoms. Let's go.
What does this remind me of? This title sequence reminds me of something.
Law and Order?
The world of Remnant is a dangerous place. Particularly for man. In the countless years that humanity has roamed the planet, civilizations have grown and fallen, but 4 have withstood the test of time: Atlas, Mistral, Vacuo, Veil, These 4 kingdoms, with the help of natural barriers and human tenacity, have proven that they have the will to survive. Each kingdom has a governing council to represent the people and their needs. Next comes the military. While most kingdoms only call on its citizens to serve when needed, others find it important to be prepared. There are still those who choose to venture outside the walls of the kingdoms. Roaming nomads and small villages are not uncommon, yet neither is their tendency to disappear overnight. Lastly, the Huntsman Academies. These institutions' sole purpose is to train the next generation of huntsmen. The next generation of defenders that will live and die to protect the lifestyle that they've become so accustomed to. Yes, the world of Remnant is indeed a dangerous place, but the 4 kingdoms stand as beacons of hope, as safe havens from the darkness that surrounds them. They are the key to mankind's survival, as long as they stand united.
Which they don't.
Okay. Kingdoms.
They're like countries.
They don't stand united, you said?
Well, I thought some of them hated each other. I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, RWBY believes they're in a time of peace. So that would imply right now they don't...
RWBY's in a time of peace at every day.
I know, but that would imply right now at least they don't openly hate each other.
Yeah.
Like they're not at war or anything. And Jean talked in the first episode about how his great-grandfather or great-great-grandfather, whatever, fought in the war. And then there was a speech by Ozpin when he introduced the students about how they had a great war. And the war is over. So it looks like at one point they did fight each other. But that right now they're, I guess, at peace. 4 kingdoms are Atlas, where Weiss is from. She's from Atlas. It was up north, way up north. Mistral. Vacuo. Remember at one point, Sun, when he was talking about how he was just gonna come in what he had to the dance. He said, "You know, I may go to school at Haven, but I come from Vacuo." Vacuo was way on the left there. That's Vacuo. And then Vale, which is the kingdom they're in now. That's where Beacon is. And she talked about a beacon of hope. Beacon. And then a haven, a safe haven. Haven is in the name of one of the other academies. The one in Mistral. So, there you go. That's the world. You notice that they had the 4 kingdoms, but there was still a lot of other land that didn't seem to have kingdoms on it. So who knows what's going on there.
Who knows?
And she talked about some people who stray away from the kingdoms, but then they tend to disappear. Why do you think they disappear?
Because they don't like it.
Because no. That's why they leave the kingdoms. But why, after they leave the kingdoms, do they never return? Do they disappear?
Because they die.
Why would they die?
Those creatures.
Creatures of Grimm? Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Okay.
It's a safe bet.
All right. Well, speaking of Creatures of Grimm, that's our next one.
Well. Oh, fuck. Law and Order SVU.
Now that you've seen it, you can't unsee it.
I know, I can't unsee it now. Oh my god.
The creatures
nice
of
kitty.
Grimm. A ravenous, destructive force that covers the majority of Remnant. While often referred to simply as Grimm in the common
Grim Reaper.
These beings serve as the greatest foe to mankind. For as long as humanity can recall walking the surface of Remnant, so do they remember this wicked force.
Wolverine.
Many ancient cultures believed the creatures of Grimm to be animals possessed by evil spirits, or perhaps the spirits of tortured animals themselves. However, further study, as well as the discovery of newer, more horrific forms of Grimm, does not support this hypothesis. With new creatures discovered every day, scientists perpetually find themselves with more questions than answers. While very little is known of their origin, some key facts have been observed in the wild. First and foremost, the Grimm exclusively attack humans and their creations. While occasional skirmishes between wildlife and Grimm have occurred, these instances appear to be based on territorial provocations rather than a need for sustenance. In fact, the common belief is that the Grimm are not obligated to feed. They choose to. What is perhaps even more unsettling is the basis of their attraction. The creatures of Grimm are lured towards negative emotion. In the rare instances when villages are capable of defending against a wave of Grimm, their survival is not guaranteed, as widespread panic will only lead to more attacks. Little else is known about the creatures of Grimm. Keeping them in captivity has proven to be an understandably difficult task, as the creatures tend to either die or kill those who imprisoned them in the first place. To further complicate study, the corpse of a Grimm will only remain for a short period of time before completely evaporating. Those who hunt the beasts for sport find this particularly upsetting, but manage to get by with cheap taxidermic recreations and bombastic storytelling. Although the creatures of Grimm appear mindless, more delicate observation has proven contradictory. It has been noted that while younger Grimm tend to be more reckless, older Grimm, who have managed to survive their battles, have the tendency to learn from their experience and will exercise caution in the future. This perverse form of self-preservation allows the creatures to become more effective killers. And in the end, killing is all that matters.
Ah, shit.
Oh, shit. Grimm, that's what Grimm are. By the way, they you said Grim Reaper. They're actually spelled Grimm, and they're based on the Grimm fairy tales, which is the source of a lot of like Red Riding Hood and so forth. It's a Grimm fairy tale. Source of a lot of the characters. Source material as well. Creatures of Grimm would be, because Grimm fairy tales would often have monsters, like the big bad wolf and things like that. So that the original monsters that Ruby fought in the Red trailer were based kind of on the big bad wolf because she's Red Riding Hood. So that's where Grimm ties into all of that, and that's why they're called the creatures of Grimm. So what do you think about the Grimm?
Scary.
They're scary. Did you hear how they feed off negative emotions? So if they scare you, that will make more of them come to kill you. So it's horrible, isn't it? You have to be calm and not be scared or not be worried or not be anxious or any of that, or angry, because they'll come for you if you are. So you can imagine then if a small settlement goes out away from the kingdoms and settles down, and then there's one Grimm attack, they get really nervous and scared, and then more come, and then more come, and then they're all dead because they can't stop it. Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Last one.
All right.
Aura.
Like Nora.
This one, by the way, I just wanted to point this out, is not available on free of charge anywhere. So I'm going to actually blank this one out. I think I have to. I think I should. It's available on YouTube if you search for it. I'm talking to the people watching now on the video. The one on Aura. It's only available on a Blu-ray, and I think it's only available on a certain edition of Blu-ray that was international. So you can find it on YouTube. That's where I've seen it. That's where I'm going to show Michelle what it has in it. But you're not going to hear any audio, and you're not going to see any video for it because I don't think it's right for me to do that because Rooster Teeth is not releasing it. Rooster Teeth doesn't even have it on its website. So we're gonna listen to it and we're gonna react to it. But if you want to react along with us and see what she's reacting to, you're gonna have to go find it. I won't put a link to it because it's not a Rooster Teeth official video. I know. I'm sorry. I don't want to.
I'm sorry for you guys.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. But I'm sure everybody who's watching's probably already seen it, so it's probably fine. Here we go. Aura.
Ruby.
RWBY. Who's that?
Monkey Boy.
And Ren.
Yes.
Pyrrha said that. She said that too.
Yeah. Red versus blue. Red versus blue.
Yes.
No, it does not. Like a battery on an iPhone.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, there we go.
It's the witch.
Good witch. So semblance. Like good witch, telekinesis. Yang.
Get your leg away from mine.
Yang.
That's Blake.
Yeah, and that's her semblance. She can make a copy of herself. You probably never noticed that, did you?
Yeah, I have.
She's fast, Ruby.
Yes.
Why did they say more than just a man and show Ozpin?
Maybe he's more than just a man.
Maybe. Okay, so that was Aura. Any comments about that one?
No.
It's cool. They kind of showed you the semblance, and they talked about semblance being another manifestation of Aura. And remember, Jean and Pyrrha were on the porch, or when they were practicing on the porch, on the balcony when they were practicing.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "You want to work on Aura?" And he said, "I didn't really want to." And she said, "John, I know it'll take time, but we'll find your semblance." So John doesn't know what his semblance is. So did that help you at all kind of understand a little bit more? They give you a little bit more background. So hopefully some of the things about the world won't confuse you as much. So anyway, excellent. I guess we'll resume the rest of Volume 2 next, guys. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
Catch you next time.